Hey everybody, welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gentleman. I'm Topher. I started this channel because I'm a fan of craft beer, but I'm on a limited budget and I wanted to demonstrate that it was possible to enjoy good quality craft beers without having to break the bank. So the beers that I review on this channel usually come in around the $2 price range, and such is the case with today's selection. Desperate times are calling for desperate measures, and very recently the only option I had for trying to find any kind of craft beer was in my local grocery store, and they have a build a six-pack for $9.99 at my local Smith's. So I had to wade through the faux craft, all those craft breweries we all used to love and enjoy and believe in that are now owned by big corporate conglomerates. Yeah, I had to wade through all those, and I found some pearls among them. Some of these are going to be revisited. Tenaya Creek we did last time with their Gypsy Fade. That was a revisit. But getting to the point of the price of this beer, I paid $1.67, and that, my friends, that is something I almost never get to do with this particular brewer. This is the Stone Fear Movie Lions Double IPA. Now, I'm gonna be just flat out honest with you. Usually, when I drink a Stone beer, it's at a tap room, and because I don't have the same $2 price cut at a tap room like I do when I'm buying cans and bottles off the shelves. I don't do video reviews for those kind of beers, so sometimes I spend more on them. You just have to. You can't get a decent uh, pint of craft beer anywhere for $2. So I mean, come on, let's be realistic here. So anyway, so Stone is I usually get to enjoy it off the tap, very rarely out of the bottle because it's usually just well past the $2 price point. But because it was among the beers that were included on the build a six pack for $9.99, that means I paid $1.67 for this bottle. And it's very, very, very. I don't think I'm ever again. There's another Stone in this mix, but let's face it, this is the only way I'm ever going to be able to drink Stone beers for $1.67. What's more, this beer in particular, it's less than 2 weeks old. At the time of this recording, it's actually 13 days from when it was brewed. So that's right on the money. And I'm going to read to you what they have here. It is there's a 3 meter by 3 meter square in our Richmond, Virginia brewery with these three words painted on it. What three words exactly? For the uninitiated, that's what three words, written as one word. It's a global addressing system to bring locations to the previously unlocatable. Inspired by the positive impact of this system, we decided to name this IPA after a 3 meter square in the brewery where it was created. Check it out. So now when someone says to you, what three words, you can reply with your own answer. If it's Fear Movie Lions, we'll see you here. I still don't quite get it, but anyway, there's the Independent Brewers Association label I was talking about not seeing on the Squatters beer, which kind of concerned me. If there's been a buyout with Squatters, I'm unaware of that. So this is the Fear Movie Lions Double IPA. It has an ABV of 8.5. Typically, and I'm going to refer to it as an Imperial IPA because that is the preferred term. Even though they call it a double IPA, if I end up saying Imperial, that's because, well, that's why, because the blogs prefer that. With its 8.5 ABV, it falls in the 7.5 to 10%, and I'm sorry, 7.5 to 10% is typical range for ABV for a double or imperial IPA. This has an 8.5% ABV. 60 to 120 IBUs is typical for an imperial or double IPA. And this particular beer has 60, so it's on the low end for an imperial or double IPA. Now, whether you want to call it imperial, whether you want to call it double, the brewers here did in fact call it a double. And what's distinct about this is that it's not only a double, it's an unfiltered double. And if you go to the website and you read, you will see that apparently they eventually kind of just had to give in to the fact that hazy IPAs, New England IPAs, however you wanted to phrase them or describe them, hazy New England IPAs were the rage. Stone is very proud of their California roots, so they weren't necessarily looking to jump onto the New England craves, but they did this. And the reviews, well, let me just tell you, 42 of my friends on Untapped, cumulative score 3.97. 80,000 of us on Untapped, 3.93. Guys, we're coming in almost at a 4.0 amongst 80,000 reviews. That says a lot to me. Beer Advocate has only had 591 rankings. Average score is 4.07. Cumulative score is 91. On their scale, that's outstanding. Now, because most of the beers that I've had at Stone were on tap, oftentimes it's been at Stone tap takeovers, such as the case of the glass that I'll be using in a little bit later to drink this beer. But I have had 53 beers from Stone. I am not going to sit down and tabulate the scores and figure out the average score that I give Stone beers. Suffice to say, more often than not, I'm very happy with them. There's been a few exceptions. I'm not going to go into those. Why should I? But yeah. Anyway, that's the case with that. So there are the stats on that. I am going to be using my Stone Domination. This was from a tap takeover, the 7th annual Stone Domination at Aces and Ales. This happened on, well, almost, well, okay. This happened in May of 2016. May 14th, to be exact, of 2016 is when I went to this, when I went to the tap takeover and scored this glass. It was one of the things that was available to you when you paid for a ticket. And so I grabbed it because it was super duper. Kelly, my man, if you're watching, there's another cap for you. My buddy Kelly's working on some kind of project, needs beer caps, so collecting those for him. All right. Normally I would not pour it into a miniature Boston shaker. These glasses are really supposed to be meant more as souvenirs rather than actually used, but I say sometimes you gotta break the rules, especially during hashtag stay home, huh? All right, so what you are seeing is super duper carbonation. I mean, lots and lots and lots of carbonation. As I said, this beer is less than 2 weeks from its bottled on date. So feeling really good about this, gang. As you can see, that head is very, very wispy. The bottles are popping pretty quickly, but they are nice big bubbles too, because we have such amazing carbonation. And this is one of those times where you are seeing the same color as I am. It's hazy and it's even kind of carroty. I'm going to give this a quick beard wipe since I didn't notice any discernible notes coming out of the bouquet. Now I smell hops, I sure do. Let me stick my schnoz in directly, see what else I can encounter. Hops and almost like an oatmeal maltiness. The malt is just very, it's like a sweet malt. And I, I haven't tasted it yet, so I don't know what I'm really talking about, but that's what it smells like, is it smells like a sweet malt. So almost 8 minutes in here, I'm going to go ahead and get to do some drinking. Cheers. Hmm. Oh yeah. I see why this is getting such high marks. Initial response, slight alcohol burn. I'm going to describe that as a medium low mouthfeel, actually. It's not a lot of spikiness to it. Hop forward, but very nicely tempered with that malt that I was talking about before. The malt is not, however, if it was sweet malt, it's not appearing as sweet on the taste. Yeah, preponderance of hops. Um, It's boozy. As I said, what is it, 8.5, I believe it was? Yeah, 8.5. Big surprise that an 8.5 beer would have sort of a booziness to it. I'd be surprised if it didn't. I can see why this gets such attention. When I went to Untapped to look up this beer to get my stats, I discovered that they apparently take this beer and they do stuff with it fairly regularly, like with tangerines or Fear Movie Lions with barrel aged or anyway. The point is that they do many variants of the base beer of this. And as I say, it's very rare that I get a chance to review a beer on here for you guys because I try to bring those beers in around the $2 price range. The last time that I think I even did a Stone, well, I can't remember the last time I did a Stone review, but I brought some back from San Diego back in what 2017, and those were definitely not $2 beers. But anyway, this I paid $1.67 for. I would call it a special selection, but it's through a I just don't know about calling anything that I get out of that 6 pack a special selection. But I am really liking this beer a lot, and I'm seeing why everybody else did too. It's nice when things live up to the hype. It just has a great It's hop forward, and yet you don't feel you're not tasting the bitterness of the hops. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good bitter hop, but I also like it when when somebody goes in and they take the flavor of the hop and they really enhance that flavor instead of just the bitterness of the hop, but the actual flavors that can come from said hops. So that's what happened with this beer. They did a hell of a job. Honestly, I gotta say, this is one of the best New England IPAs I've had, and it came from a San Diego brewery. So I don't, what does that tell you? I don't know. But anyway, until next time, guys. Drink good beer. Don't break the bank doing it. Hashtag stay home, stay safe. Until next time, cheers.